Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Bay Area Case Studies Virtual College Fair. We've got an exciting session today with some great material. Before we get started, a couple housekeeping items. Number one, if you have questions, please use the Q&A button to type your question to the presenter at any time. Also note that your camera and microphone are off, so our panelists can't see or hear you. Be aware as well that we have additional sessions on the StriveScan website, so if you have interest in another institution, go ahead and sign up for those at your earliest convenience. Also note that a recording of this session will be made available and on the website at strivescan.com/BACS. Before we get started, we're going to just introduce our 5 institutions today, starting out with the University of Michigan. Going second will be Emory University. Going third will be Lawrence University. Going fourth will be Muhlenberg College. And lastly, the University of San Diego. With our list of institutions behind us, we'll turn it over to our representative from the University of Michigan.
All right, thanks so much, Dave, and hope all of you out there are doing well. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen right now, recognizing that we have a short amount of time and a lot of information to cover. Just in terms of revealing who I am, my name is Chris Tesoro. I am the Regional Recruitment Coordinator within the Office of Undergraduate Admissions. My pronouns are he, him. I work primarily with students from California as well as my home state of Hawaii. And again, so happy to be with you all here tonight. In terms of when introducing students to University of Michigan, we would first like to reflect on our past as an institution, where we are today and where we see ourselves going in the future. I would first like to acknowledge that the University of Michigan resides on the ancestral, traditional, and contemporary lands of the Anishinaabe people. In 1817, the Ojibwe, Odawa, and Potawatomi nations made the largest single land transfer to the University of Michigan when they ceded land through the treaty at Fort Meigs so that their children could be educated. We recognize the history of displacement of Native communities that facilitated the founding of the University of Michigan. We also acknowledge the sovereignty of tribal lands, and we reaffirm contemporary and traditional Anishinaabe ties to land, as well as the profound contributions of Native Americans to this institution. Just as we acknowledge the ancestry on the land on which we live, we also feel compelled to speak to both the reality and serious impacts of racial injustice in our country. Black Lives Matter, and we do acknowledge that the active role that our university must play in the conversation around those injustices and in forging a path towards positive change. Our efforts begin with fostering a diverse, equitable, and inclusive community for our students, faculty, and staff here on campus. Recognizing that the University of Michigan is a predominantly white institution, please know that we do have an ongoing focus, spearheaded by our DEI office, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion office, on improving our climate of diversity to be supportive of all. And again, as our president's quoted on this slide in front of you, we have to say out loud, Black Lives Matter, and end that sentence. It doesn't need to be modified. Black Lives Matter. And for students, in case you're wondering about logistics, where the University of Michigan is located, we are a large public research institution. We are formally established in the city of Detroit, Michigan in 1817 and moved to our current location of Ann Arbor in 1837. In case you're wondering how to get there from your location in the Bay Area, it's about a 5-hour flight from San Francisco, from Oakland to Detroit, and about a 30-minute drive west from Detroit International Airport. Ann Arbor provides both a vibrant city feel with over 300 restaurants located in downtown Ann Arbor. We also have great access to nature as it is nestled alongside the Huron River. The University of Michigan has a little over 30,000 total undergraduate students, with slightly more than half coming from in-state, from the state of Michigan. California students, you are very well represented. I am traditionally based in California. It is the 3rd largest out-of-state population. Not only are we geographically diverse, we also have students coming from a diversity of backgrounds, religions, races, cultures, as well as educational interests. 14% of our students identify as the first in their family to attend a 4-year institution. 18% of our students are Pell eligible. 27% of our students self-identify as students of color, and 17%, identify as members of the LGBTQ+ community. The geographic and ethnic diversity illustrated by this slide indicates that your experience at the University of Michigan will be greatly enhanced by the students who are coming from all across the country as well as the globe. In terms of academics, what attracts students to Michigan? Not only the breadth of our academic opportunities, but you can see here over 280 different degree options, 15-to-1, 15-to-1 student to faculty ratio. Popular academic interests include engineering. We are not impacted at all with Michigan engineering. We actually offer 17 different Michigan engineering majors. Other popular majors include psychology, biology. We do offer a pre-health advising resource. You have the opportunity to job shadow at Michigan Medicine, which is a world-renowned medical campus, and also the world-renowned Ross School of Business. For those of you interested in the business school, we do have preferred admission coming out of high school, a pathway to actually be accepted and approved into Ross as a high school senior. In addition to the variety of academic offerings, we also offer tremendous academic support, as well as engagement resources in the form of academic advising, study abroad programs, and flexible major, minor, and certificate options. Michigan is considered the top public research institution in the US with over $1.5 billion of research expenditures used annually. You may also be wondering what the vibe or culture is like at a place like Michigan. For first-year students, it is very much a residential campus. 97% of our first-year students live on campus. My coworkers wanted me to change my background today because there is a threat of snow in Ann Arbor this week. So just showing you our students still have fun, right, in the snowing weather. But we also have Michigan learning communities. For example, we have WISE RP, which stands for Women in Science and Engineering Residential Program, living learning community really designed to support women in STEM. In terms of the Michigan difference, I wanted to briefly touch upon our alumni ties before ending with our admissions process. Really, when you're joining the Michigan family, you are joining a community of 630,000 living alums. Students, please know that if you ever want to come back to your home state of California, the support will be there through our local alumni connections, again, within the Bay Area, if you want to go to Southern California, San Diego, etc. Now, as far as applying to become a Michigan Wolverine, I'll take the last minute or so just to explain the process. And I'll actually shift to this slide so you all can take down my contact information in case you have any questions. We were test flexible this year for the class of 2021. Juniors out there or younger, we don't have any specific guidance yet. So I just want to be transparent. Please keep in touch with us. Please check our website heading into June, July to see if we will extend that test flexible status moving into the class of 2022. We offer early action, which is non-binding. November 1st will be the deadline for you juniors. So that has been confirmed. Regular decision is February 1st. We do not use interviews in our holistic review process, but we do look at supplemental essays as well as other factors such as rec letters, and of course, looking at your transcripts there. In terms of financial aid, we do award 2 out of every 3 Michigan student is on some sort of financial aid. There is a net cost calculator available off of our financial aid website. It is a separate office from the Office of Undergraduate Admissions, the office I work for. So I just wanted to be transparent in that process. I know test flexible is top of everyone's mind. I do want to appreciate your patience and definitely contact us if you have any questions moving forward. So having said that, I'm right at my time. Thank you all. Hope all of you are safe and healthy. And of course, go blue.
Chris, thank you so much. We're on to our next institution, Emory University.
All right. Good evening, everyone. It is late evening where I am. I'm going to share my screen with you really quickly, and everyone can see it. Good. So I'm going to play the slide. There we go. So again, I'm Giles Eady. I'm Associate Dean of Undergraduate Admission at Emory University. Emory University is located in the lovely city of Atlanta, Georgia. So you can get an aerial shot of here what our proximity is to the downtown Atlanta area. But in this lovely city, Atlanta, I think Atlanta really makes the collegiate experience really what it is. In Atlanta, we have about 19 other colleges and universities in addition to Emory. And so we have agreements with every college and university that you can actually take courses on each campus in the city, and those courses will translate back to your university like you were there. So it really allows you to really get a greater, even greater diversity of students than what your university offers. So the average student body in Atlanta is somewhere around 100,000 students. And so they're coming from all over the world. At Emory, we had all 50 states represented last year and about 45 countries represented. So students are coming from all over the place. I think one of the big drivers about Atlanta being a world destination is that we have the world's busiest airport in Atlanta. So you can get to more international destinations from Atlanta's airport than any other airport in the world. But what I like about Atlanta is that the pace is just right. To me, I think a lot of times Atlanta feels a lot like San Francisco in multiple ways. The pace of things, also politically, Atlanta and San Francisco are very similar places. But Atlanta has the #1 conglomerate of Fortune 500 companies located in the city. And so here's a snapshot of all the brands that are headquartered in Atlanta. And so those offer excellent internship opportunities for students looking at Emory University. So something to note about Atlanta. If you're coming to college in Atlanta, I think you are partly an activist. Atlanta is the birthplace and home of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And so that spirit that Dr. King exhibited as a citizen of Atlanta still exists today. We're also the place that gave rise to great people like the late Representative John Lewis, who said we got to get in good trouble, and also gave rise to wonderful people like Stacey Abrams, who I venture to say was a big catalyst in the state of Georgia turning blue with the presidential election this past year. So to be a student in Atlanta is to be an activist. So we fully anticipate that you're going to be civically involved during your time in Atlanta or at Emory. So no one just comes to Atlanta to just go to college and party and go away. Like, you have to contribute to the city. So with Emory University, we actually have two campuses that you choose from in your first 2 years. We have Oxford College, that's our first campus. It's located in Oxford, Georgia, which is about 45 minutes away from Atlanta. And then we have Emory College, which is located in Atlanta on the Atlanta campus. So no matter where you start those first 2 years, everyone comes to Atlanta in their third year and goes into their major. And so we offer majors in 3 schools. The first is going to be the Goizueta School of Business. The second is going to be Emory College. And the third is going to be the School of Nursing. So 2 entry points lead to one of those 3 places, and then you graduate from Emory University. So the differences in the 2 places: Oxford College is just first and second year students. So only about 1,000 students on campus. Oxford is going to look and feel like a small traditional liberal arts college. So students take their courses there, they live there on campus. Really well suited for students who are looking to be involved and who are looking for leadership opportunities right away. That's Oxford College. Then the Atlanta campus has the rest of the university. So about 14,000 students on the Atlanta campus, 7,000 of them being undergraduates. And so also liberal arts, but on a bigger campus. The Atlanta campus is where most of the research that you might know Emory University is conducted. We tested the Moderna vaccine at Emory. We were the university back in 2014 that treated the first Ebola patients in the United States. And so we did that successfully. I venture to say that a lot of that happens because our next door neighbor is the Centers for Disease Control. I actually heard Dr. Sanjay Gupta say you can't mention public health without mentioning Emory University. That's what most people know us for research. But we can offer research in every area of study offered on campus. And we encourage that every student who attends Emory will be involved in research. So with our application process, our process is holistic, similar to the process that you guys kind of engaged in earlier today. So we're going to take a lot of things into consideration to make a decision. One thing does not make or break a decision, but we are also going to be test optional this upcoming school year. So it's totally optional to submit test scores if you wish. And my time is expiring, so I'm going to skip ahead. Certainly, if you have other questions, feel free to connect with us. We have a number of virtual events happening right now. So there's our website and also our Instagram handle if you want to stay in touch with us. All right, so I'm going to pass it on to my colleagues.
Thank you. We're on to the representative from Lawrence University.
Hi, everybody. My name is Brianna Barkin. I'm an Associate Director of Admission at Lawrence University in Appleton, Wisconsin. But I am regionally based in Los Angeles, California, and I cover the entire West Coast. So I do work with you and your students and your families through their admissions process. We are a small private liberal arts college, part of the Colleges That Change Lives Consortium. We have both a College of Liberal Arts and Sciences and a Conservatory of Music on campus, which is what makes us a university. We do not have any graduate students on campus. About a quarter of our students are pursuing a music degree, and about half of those students are actually pursuing a 5-year double degree program. So we do have an opportunity for our students to earn both a Bachelor of Music and a Bachelor of Arts in 5 years. Some of our most popular majors in the college are biology, creative writing, history. There's so many amazing subjects to learn. We have about 40 different majors in the college that our students can choose from. We have about 1,500 students, and our faculty to student ratio is only 8-1, which is one of the smallest in the country. And our average class size is only 15 students. And a fun fact is 60% of our classes are just one student and one faculty member. We do offer a first year studies curriculum. We just announced the name change. My slides aren't updated yet, but they will be soon. And every Laurentian takes first year studies, their first and second term at Lawrence. We have 3 10-week terms throughout the year. We offer 1 unit in jazz music, 1 unit in poetry, 1 unit in philosophy, 1 unit in physics, and your small group of 15 students with 1 professor. And the entire first year class is going through the exact same curriculum at the exact same time. And at the end of that unit, the entire first year class does get together for a culminating experience. We have a lot of opportunities for students to get involved on campus because we don't have any graduate students. Our students can get involved with research with their professors. We have experiential learning as well. And we have our own campus in London, England. That is the easiest way for our students to study abroad, but certainly not the only way for our students to study abroad. We have a ton going on campus. We have Division III varsity athletics, and I surprisingly, maybe not surprisingly, have been getting a lot of female ice hockey players from the Bay Area. So if you are a hockey player or you play another sport, I'd love to talk to you about that. We have music on campus. We are a fairly diverse campus. We have about 22% domestic students of color on campus, 10% international students, and about 10% of our students do come from the state of California. This is a picture of our third campus in Bjork, London, which is a retreat center on Lake Michigan. And our students can come up here typically about at least 1 weekend per academic year just to disconnect from the hustle and bustle of everyday life and really connect with their classmates, teammates, club members, whatever organization they're going up with. We bookend your education at Lawrence. We start with freshman studies, first year studies, and we end with the Chandler senior experience. Senior year, you get to kind of take everything you've learned and showcase it to the community. After all of that, we are so proud that within 6 months of graduation, 99% of our students are employed or in graduate school. And last year, we did have a 100% placement rate into medical school for students who met the med school average. So really great outcomes coming out of our undergraduate program. It is very easy to apply to Lawrence University. We are on the Common App, and we have our own app as well. We do not have an application fee, and we are test optional. We have been test optional for almost 20 years. So don't worry about it. If you can't take the test, don't want to take the test, lots of things we understand. If you want to apply to the conservatory, we do also require an audition, a music teacher evaluation, and a music resume. And like you might have learned today in your case studies, doing an interview if it's optional is always great because we love to get to know you, and it really adds a third dimension to your application. We have a very robust financial aid and scholarship program. A lot of our students are receiving aid. Our merit-based scholarships do go up to about $30,000, which is roughly half the total cost of attendance. And this last summer, we did meet an $85 million fundraising goal to become an institution that meets full demonstrated need. So lots and lots and lots of financial assistance available to families. Our deadlines are on here. You can read them while I quickly tell you about the city of Appleton. We are a small city in Northwest Wisconsin. We have about 75,000 people that live in Appleton, and we are in the same metro area as Green Bay. So there are a lot of Packer fans in the area. And in the greater metro area, there's about 250,000 people. Right across the street from campus is downtown Appleton. There's about a mile and a half of restaurants and shops, a performing arts center that gets a full Broadway season every year. 2 years ago, Hamilton was in town. Our students could get tickets for $25, and I was pretty jealous about that here in California. Our airport is 6 miles away, about 10 minutes. It's really easy. I have flown from SFO. You have a quick layover somewhere, and you can hop right onto campus that way. It makes it really, really easy for you. I am coming in towards the close of my 6 minutes, but thank you so much for joining us, and I'm looking forward to answering any questions that you have at the end.
Thanks so much. We're on to our next institution, Muhlenberg College.
Hi, thanks so much, friends. Good evening. We'll keep it in the small liberal arts college family by talking a little bit about Muhlenberg. My name is Becca Larson. I'm the Regional Director of Admissions for the West Coast, and I work with all students in Mountain Time West, essentially. So I'm excited to share more with you today. Muhlenberg, as I said, we're a small liberal arts college located in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Allentown is about 60 miles from Philadelphia, 90 miles from New York City, and it is quite easy for our students to get to campus. You can fly into Newark or Philadelphia Airport, and both of them are about an hour and 10 minutes from campus. And we do have an airport right in Allentown, one terminal, 12 gates, one very friendly TSA officer, but it does require a connecting flight generally in Chicago or Atlanta. So it's quite easy for our students from California to get to campus. The city of Allentown is located within the Lehigh Valley, which is rated in the top 5 in the nation for economic development right now. And there are lots of other colleges within the Lehigh Valley that Muhlenberg is in consortium with. So there's opportunities for students to cross-register and collaborate with students and faculty from across the Lehigh Valley. At Muhlenberg, we enroll just under 2,000 students, and 91% of those students live on campus all 4 years with guaranteed housing. Something you'll often hear about Muhlenberg is that we're known as the Caring College. And if you look behind me, you'll see those red doors. Every single exterior door on campus at Muhlenberg is red, which is a Lutheran sign of welcoming. So we're really a place where students are incredibly friendly, always holding doors open for one another with a friendly, smiling face. So it's really easy for our students traveling from a greater distance to build a deep sense of community very quickly when they get to Allentown. Something that we love to brag about is the delicious food that we have on campus. We've been consistently ranked top in the nation for delicious food, and certainly #1 in the state of Pennsylvania. You have to try our whoopie pies, which is a bit of a Pennsylvania delicacy, one of my favorite things to eat when I am back on campus. At Muhlenberg, we're a Division III school, and we offer 22 different varsity sports, including football. Our football team made it to the Final Four in NCAA Division III championships in 2019. While our 2020 season was sadly canceled, we're just putting all of that energy into the 2021 season. Academically at Muhlenberg, we offer a lot of academic breadth, and about 1/3 of our students choose to double major and another 1/3 pursue a major and a minor. So it's a great place for a student who's interested in making multiple academic connections and pursuing different academic paths. We're known for our strength within the arts. We have a spectacular theater program. We put on over 50 productions a year. We do offer concentration in musical theater, and we have a very robust dance program as well with tap, aerial dance, full Pilates studios. So a lot of our students are passionate about the arts at Muhlenberg. We don't require auditions for any of our artistic programs, and even non-majors can participate in our productions and our courses. So if you're a student who's passionate about theater but wants to major in biology, Muhlenberg could be a great place for you. Beyond our strength within the arts, we're very fortunate to be in close proximity to several hospitals and have both research and clinical opportunities for students interested in medical research. We have about an 87% admit rate into medical school within the US, and we have tons of undergraduate research opportunities for our students. Beyond our programs within the sciences, we have things like business, accounting, economics, and finance, media and communications. Some of our newer majors are in public health, and we launched a sustainability studies major just a couple of years ago. You don't have to declare your major until the end of sophomore year, so there's plenty of time to decide. And we're really proud of our small classes and the fact that our faculty are really fiercely dedicated to their students and helping them grow, not just as learners, but as individuals as well. And just to quickly touch on some of our academic partnerships, we're always thinking about helping our students with what's next. So we do have partnerships with the University of Pennsylvania College of Dentistry. That's a 3+4 program. We have early assurance programs with Boston University and Temple University School of Medicine, respectively, a newer 3+3 partnership in law. And we just launched, hot off the press just a couple of days ago, a 4+1 program in applied analytics with a new graduate program that's offered on our campus. And any student across any major is eligible to do that accelerated master's degree program, which is exciting. Beyond that, we have a spectacular career center that really helps students connect with our alumni and takes advantage of our proximity to places like New York and Philly and Washington, DC, so students can do career road trips and really start to build networks and really start to develop their professional career as an undergraduate. Just quickly, our admission process, we are a common application exclusive school. We've been test optional since 1996, so that won't be changing anytime soon. And we are certainly a school that values demonstrated interest. So, doing that interview, finding ways to connect with an admission rep is certainly important to us. We only require the FAFSA for students who are interested in applying for need-based financial aid, and about 97% of our students receive some form of financial assistance, whether that's talent grants, scholarships, merit aid, need-based aid, or a combination of all of those things. So, just a couple of campus updates. We just broke ground on a brand new building that will house a few different student life opportunities for our students, most notably our Muhlenberg Center for Public Opinion, which is our polling center on campus. We have a spectacular political science program, and our students are doing really important research within the state of Pennsylvania. You saw a lot of updates from the Muhlenberg polls throughout the 2020 election. It's exciting for our students to be in a battleground state and to get politically active. That's something we really encourage our students to do in various ways. So we have that new building, which is exciting, and we'll be beginning renovations on our student center in a couple of months as well. So that is my time. 6 minutes goes by real fast, but I will pass it off to the next presenter. Thanks so much, friends.
Thank you. We're on to the representative from the University of San Diego.
Great, thank you so much. Good evening, my name is Scott Yunner. I'm one of the admission counselors at the University of San Diego. I oversee the northern part of California as well as the Southwest. Additionally, I have a daughter who is a senior at the University of San Diego, so she's getting ready to graduate. So we're gonna jump right in here. Let's see here, perfect. So a little bit about the University of San Diego. So we founded in 1949 by the Diocese of San Diego and the Sisters of the Sacred Heart. There's a men's college, a women's college, and a law school. In 1972, they merged them all together to form now what we know as University of San Diego. We are a little unique because we're not affiliated with any particular order. We're not a Jesuit school or Franciscan school. About 40% of our students identify with the Catholic faith. The remainder of our students either identify with a different faith background or no faith background at all. Along with that, at USC, we do not require students to go to Mass, nor do we require them to be a part of the campus ministry. If you're looking for that component, we have an amazing campus ministry for students to be able to be a part of. But outside of that, we don't require it. We do believe at USC, your spiritual journey is just that, your spiritual journey. The only religious requirement we have is one lower division, one upper division religious theology study. That lower division is going to tie in probably some type of Catholic history component. Upper division, you can take any religious theology study that we offer on our catalog. So for my daughter, when she was in Cork, Ireland, doing her semester abroad, she took Buddhism as her upper division religious requirement. As well, we have about 5,900 undergraduates and about 2,800 graduate law students on campus. So we are what they call a mid-sized institution. We are a little bit on that lower end. About 48% of our students are from out of state. 9% of our students are international. The remainder of our students are pretty even divided between Northern and Southern California. We are also the 6th most beautiful campus in the nation. When you walk on our campus, you can't help but to be awestruck. We're sort of up on a hill. We overlook sort of Mission Bay, downtown San Diego. We're about 10 minutes away from the beach, 10 minutes away from the airport, 12 minutes from downtown, 5 minutes from Old Town. So where we are located, it's very easy for students to be able to get around, to be able to jump on the trolley system, to be able to grab one of the trams on the weekends. They might go to the beach or whatnot, but it provides a lot of opportunities for students to be able to get to know San Diego as well. When it comes to our majors, USD offers 42 majors. Regardless of the intended major you put in your application, everybody comes in undeclared. And then from there, you have up until your 4th semester to clear your major, double major, major minor, major double minor. You're guaranteed any of our majors. As well, you can get the coursework to be able to graduate in 4 years. And that's because none of our majors are impacted. You could be a business administration major as well as an art history major and still graduate in 4 years. Now, there is one caveat to that, and that is our School of Engineering. By design, those degrees are actually 4.5-year long programs. And that's because our students are actually going to graduate with a dual degree. They're going to get both a Bachelor of Arts and a Bachelor of Science in Engineering, whether it's mechanical, industrial, electrical, or whatnot. So it allows our students that opportunity to have a dual degree with that. And we are ranked 13th in the nation when it comes to our undergraduate engineering program. Our student to faculty ratio is 13 to 1. And we are the youngest private institution in the top 100. So we take a lot of pride in that. We feel like we've come a very long way in a very short period of time. Additionally, we also have pre-professional advising. So if you're looking to do pre-med, pre-law, pre-dental, there are pathways. They're not majors or minors. What it does is it gives you an additional advisor that's going to work with you to make sure over the course of the next 4 years, you're going to be able to meet all the prerequisites needed to be able to graduate, internship opportunity, undergrad research opportunities, so that you can be as competitive as possible in applying to graduate school. As well, we offer undergrad research for all of our majors on campus, but specifically if you are a science major, you're going to be guaranteed a minimum of 100 hours of undergrad research. This research is going to be done with a lead professor. If that research is published, then our students are also co-authored with that. So for those who are on that pre-dental, pre-medical track, it does allow them to be very competitive when applying to graduate school. We do require students to live on campus for the first 2 years, and we do have housing available for all 4 that choose to live on campus. Though a lot of our students that junior year, senior year typically choose to live in Mission Beach or Pacific Beach or Ocean Beach. Typically, if it has a beach, it's definitely a drop. And Mission Beach, we sort of refer to as the second USD campus. But as far as engagement, we have over 180 clubs and organizations on campus. So there really is something for everyone to be able to engage in. We have 17 Division I athletic programs. We're part of the West Coast Conference, with the exception of our football team. They are Division I, but they're part of the Pioneer League. Then we have over 50 club and intramural sports. A couple of our more popular intramural sports is dodgeball. We have 6-on-6 intertube water polo. They even have Quidditch. So I haven't seen how that's played, but I hear it's really popular with the students. We have 30 plus multicultural organizations on campus, 65 plus honor professional societies on campus, and then 9 sororities and 9 fraternities. We're also, one of the things that I think sort of stands out at the University of San Diego is the fact that we are a change-making campus. So you're going to hear a lot about change-making at USD. We find that the students who thrive here are looking to use their strengths, their talents, their passions to engage in the world in which we live in to be able to make a difference. It could be seen as simple as just water sustainability on our campus, or maybe it's working with the homeless in downtown San Diego, or maybe it's doing some trans-border work with Mexico being about 30 minutes away from our doorstep. But we do find that our students are passionate and really do engage to be able to make an important impact. With that being said, I see my time is closing up. Common App exclusive. As well, we are going to be test flying this year. We were test flying this past year. We'll be test flying this year as well. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me in the chat box. Thank you and have a great night.
Thank you. We want to thank all our presenters for the great information thus far. And the time we have remaining, we're going to go through a quick question and answer session where we ask all of our panelists to offer their perspective on a few topics. So the first question is, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? We'll start at the top with the representative from the University of Michigan.
Thanks, Dave. And I think it's a great question. And hopefully all of you get a piece of advice from us as human beings, right? We're all human beings in this process. There's no bodying or formula that students can subscribe to in terms of gaining admission to each of our institutions. And I think that's the one piece of advice I want to impart on you all, is that control what you can control through this process. Everyone is in this together in terms of not having access to certain extracurricular, athletics, etc. We will never penalize you in the process for not having access to any of the activities that you thought you would have had last year or the year before. So long-winded answer, but really want to tell you that, you know, control what you can control, and really you're going to land where you're supposed to.
My biggest piece of advice that I would give is to stay away from rankings. Rankings are one person's interpretation of that university, but you need to get your own interpretation of that university. It needs to feel like home to you. If it doesn't feel like home to you, the chances of you doing well there are limited. So stay away from rankings. They tend to lead students in directions that aren't truly who they are, but stay away from them.
I would say to keep an open mind. There are over 4,000 colleges in the United States. A lot of them you've never heard of. Maybe a couple of them are on this session right now. But every school has its merits, and you'll find the right one for you if you keep your eyes open.
Yeah, great advice, Brianna. I think what I always say to students and families is to practice self-care in this process. I think it's one that can feel all-consuming. Everyone in your life wants to ask you where you're applying to college, where you've been admitted to college. Maybe your parents want to talk about it every single day. So take some time to enjoy senior year, to not think about this process because you don't want to look back on senior year and feel like you've missed out on stuff because you're just overly stressed on this process. So my advice is really take some time away from the college process, but not too much time.
And then my advice would be, if at all possible, try to visit the campus. There's just something about walking on the campus, and within 5 or 10 minutes, you're either gonna say this feels like home or it doesn't feel like home. And let's say that you can't make it to the East Coast to be able to visit some of those schools. Go to a school or university nearby that's maybe similar in size or maybe similar in location, and just sort of walk on that campus. Is it too small? Is it too big? To be able to do it, because it might help you to sort of figure out what size campus is going to be the best size for you. But really, this is about you finding that best fit college for you as you're going through this process, where you see yourself excelling over the next 4 years, and understanding that college is just a landing point for you to be able to jump off into your career from there. So that would be my advice.
Thank you. Some great perspective for sure. On to our next question. What is your favorite event or tradition on campus? Starting again with Chris from the University of Michigan.
Love this question. I'm a huge sports fan. So in a traditional year, the city of Ann Arbor doubles in size on a football weekend. Autumn is when the football season occurs. So last week in August, first week in September. I'm originally from Hawaii, so I'm hoping if everything tracks correctly in terms of the season, next year, Michigan is slated to start the season against the University of Hawaii. I think it's the second game, excuse me. So that is a tradition that very much is at play. Students will work hard the academic week, and then obviously be able to engage in a spirited event, cheering on the Michigan Wolverines in the Big House, Michigan Stadium as a favorite tradition.
At Emory, we have a tradition that happens in a normal year called Songfest. And Songfest is an event where all the first year dormitories get together, and you get together with all the people in your dormitory, and you have 1 hour to come up with a song and dance that's unique to your residence hall. And then it's judged by upperclassmen, alums, and even the administration on which dorm had the best song and dance. And so it's a big deal. You tend to not forget the song and dance all 4 years. And so when you see your dorm mates, you might just break out into random dance, but song and dance. But that's probably my favorite tradition on campus.
Wow, that sounds so fun. At Lawrence, my favorite tradition is Welcome Week. And Welcome Week is a full week of events before classes start for our first year students to move in and get to know each other. The first night we have a convocation with the president. We welcome you. My entire office is there. We cry. We're so happy to see you. And every student at that point signs the honor pledge and shakes the president's hand. Hopefully we'll be doing version of that this upcoming fall. But it's really wonderful. It really sets off the tone for your 4 or 5 years at Lawrence, that of respect. You're showing your class colors, and it just really welcomes you into the community.
Maybe it'll be like an elbow bump instead of a handshake next year, right, Brian? My favorite tradition at Muhlenberg is one that is certainly quirky, but it speaks to kind of our artistic passions at Muhlenberg. And so we call it affectionately Sack Day, which is where our dance students place themselves in these kind of big rectangular and very colorful Lycra sacks. And they place themselves all over campus. So you can't see their face. You just kind of see these different body shapes. And so you'll be walking through the library or the student center or the dining hall, and you just see these students kind of moving about. And it feels like kind of a normal day at Muhlenberg just to see, people dancing all around you in these colorful sacks. But it's a favorite day of students, and it generally happens in the springtime. And we're fortunate that it's a pretty COVID safe activity because faces are covered as well. So yeah, check out Sack Day.
When I was at the University of San Diego, one of my favorite times is homecoming weekend, which coincides with parent weekend. It's about 8 weeks into the first semester. But what I love about it is they have a concert. They always trying to look for those up and coming bands to be able to get to play. They have a full on carnival that's going on. And it's just a great opportunity for everyone to sort of gather. And I think for the first year students, about that 8 week is when they start to get a little bit of homesick. So having their parents show up and then feeling like, okay, it's sort of like I can make it through the rest of the semester to Thanksgiving. It's just a great time and a great atmosphere on campus.
Excellent. On to our last question. Give an interesting or fun fact about your school. Again, starting with the University of Michigan.
The fun fact that I'll give is that we were established in 1817. So we do celebrate our 200-year existence a couple of years ago. And I think that's not lost on a lot of folks, especially if you are familiar with the University of Michigan. Obviously, you can see the Block M in many facets on my screen here. Very spirited campus, a sense of ownership as well. So for many of you out there, in case you're wondering, what is the vibe like at a place like University of Michigan? A sense of ownership is something I really want to convey to you in terms of an interesting fun fact. Just the years of establishment, the alumni connection, anywhere you land after graduation, you will feel that connection. And I think it's true for all the institutions here today, but really want you to take that away from this discussion, moving forward into your next application stage.
A fun fact, I'm trying to think about Emory. A fun fact would be our connection to Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is Atlanta's hometown drink. It was founded in Atlanta, the world's most recognizable brand. Emory came to Atlanta from Oxford, Georgia, because the founder of Coca-Cola had the property in Atlanta, and he was running for mayor. So he gave us the land in Atlanta to kind of help us mayoral bid. And so today we still have a very strong connection to Coca-Cola. They've donated $100 million to us in Coca-Cola stock. They did that in the 1970s. And so we got rid of it a couple of years ago at about $6.5 billion. So that goes to say we love Coca-Cola at Emory. So you will not find another soft drink around Emory, especially one that starts with a P. So, it's very it's very, very, underrated experience if you want to drink that drink, but don't do it. So.
Yeah, so a fun fact about Lawrence, well, I'll give it two-part. So we have a rock on campus that we paint for different occasions. And so it's in our quad and is painted something different every day. But our current president is retiring and we are gifting him the rock. And so I am curious to see what our students do come up with. And we are welcoming a new president that we're very excited about for the next school year.
My fun fact is that in the mid 80s, Muhlenberg was featured in a Campbell's soup commercial, partially because of the red doors of Muhlenberg match that like rich cherry red on the Campbell's soup. And so it's a 2-minute choreographed song and dance. It is the most 80s thing you have ever seen in your entire life. And it is truly brilliant, choreographed, performed by our students. It features campus really beautifully, but I think that speaks to the energy and kind of vibrancy of campus. So if you Google Muhlenberg Campbell soup, you will find it. I'll pop the link in the chat too, because it's truly that spectacular, friends. I really encourage you to watch it.
And then a fun fact about USD, I think, number one is that we're ranked 14th in the nation for best food. So we have no fast chain restaurants on campus. But we do have restaurants from alumni who have started restaurants that are on campus. We're getting ready to bring in a wings restaurant from one of our alumni. Our coffee shop is Ryan Brothers, which is alumni. So I think it's really cool how they will use sort of our alumni's restaurants that have gone on to be successful to bring them back to USD to allow them to be a part of the restaurants and the food that we offer at USD.
Thank you. That was great. And we again thank all of our panelists today for sharing. This will conclude today's session. We would ask all of our prospective students to fill out the quick 4-question survey on the website. Again, sign up for additional sessions if you have interest in other institutions. And lastly, note that this session will be available on the StriveScan website at strivescan.com/BACS. Thanks everyone and hope you have a good night. Bye-bye.